I'm Hailey Wojcik. Wojcik. Welcome to Inside the Diorama. I'm from DeWitt, Michigan. A couple years ago, I moved to Brooklyn to pursue music. I recently put out a record called Diorama. I made a cardboard box diorama for every song on the record. Be my best imaginary, I'm really interested in mixed media and just kind of combining different kinds of art together. I'm currently in the process of making videos for every song on the record, and every video features the diorama for that song. For my video for Samson Morning, I got to do stop motion animation for the first time, which was really fun, and I'm a big fan of animation, and especially stop motion and puppetry. Some of my favorite animators are the Kwai brothers and Jan Svankmajer. My earliest musical memory, it might be singing and dancing in the living room with my socks pulled up to look like go-go boots, singing Bonnie Raitt's Are You Ready for a Thing Called Love. Well, don't you have a pretty little mouth? That doesn't mean that you should use it. I play with a rotating cast of characters as musicians in my band. I call them my imaginary friends. I think some of my influences come from somewhat disparate ends of the musical spectrum. I'm really inspired by a lot of garage bands. I love Jack White. I'm a huge fan of the White Stripes. They're one of my all-time favorites. And also I used to be involved in theater, and I love incorporating a sort of theatricality into music, and I think that's one of the things that has attracted me to the Dresden Dolls, and Amanda Palmer is another one of my influences. I feel like such a phony, still I wish that you phone me. I get to work with a friend of mine, Tesco V of the Meatmen, on this record. We co-wrote a song called Model Airplane. We may seem like a sort of strange pairing, but we were neighbors in Michigan, and we get along famously, and I've always had an admiration for the punk aesthetic, the hardcore scene, and especially the live aspects of it. I've always loved bands like the Dead Kennedys and the Slits. Should our plans fail? And I also really love country music, especially Loretta Lynn, Dolly Parton, John Prine, Johnny Cash. Those are some of my favorite songwriters of all time. Let's get hit over the head, just not so hard that we're dead, but so hard we forget all the things that we said. I'm also a really big fan of Tom Waits. I think he's a genius, and I love the sort of interesting trajectory of his career and how he invented his own sound. I was writing my song Anglerfish while I was going through a breakup. When I'm upset, I guess I like to watch things that are sort of barren or foreboding, and I was watching the Planet Earth DVDs. I kept going back to the one about the deep ocean where there's no light and strange predators with bioluminescent lures, these anglerfish. And I just thought, how nice if all the people who make us miserable could just be devoured by some sort of terrifying fish.
And if you take a scuba trip, I hope you lose your way and then you get into a bind. I hope you spot an anglerfish, you think you see the light, but then you get eaten alive. 'Cause you think you know, but you don't know. You think you know, but you have no idea. You think you know, but you don't have a clue. But I hope someday you do. Grow up with no brothers or sisters, but elephants, marmosets, leopards, and lemurs.
When I was growing up in Michigan, my parents were zookeepers. I'm an animal lover. I definitely have a love for science and nature, natural history.
Excuse me if I'm acting rude.
I've also always been really fascinated with anatomy. Grey's Anatomy was always one of my favorite books when I was growing up, and it still is. It's beautiful. I think my scientific influence comes through in the dioramas, the anatomical influence, and also just really having an appreciation for sort of Victorian traditions in terms of natural history and art. And I think that's part of my fascination with dioramas in the first place and why I wanted to make them.
I don't know how many mushrooms I'd have to eat to find you attractive. I don't know what does your Saturday look like. Let's find out.
I think an extension of my anatomical scientific influence comes through in my love of mixing sort of dark and light together, macabre things with a sense of humor as well. My earliest memory also has to do with Grey's Anatomy. I used to like to memorize the names of all the bones, and I remember when I was about 4 pleading with my parents to allow me to vivisect my grandmother so that I could see her bones. Somehow they didn't go for that.
So I think I'll be fine if I just ride this train all night.
In addition to stop motion and using the diorama from the song, the videos so far have involved fake blood, which I like to make in my spare time. I've always really liked Halloween and dressing up. There's a song on my record called Pumpkin Teeth, which is based on a Halloween experience I had. I dressed as Phineas Gage that year. That was actually the first music video I made for this record. Just shot it with a little camcorder in the middle of the night in my apartment and on the street. Just did it in one shot. I had a blast and decided to keep making more.
And the chance is slim and none that she wrote one line right. So I think I'll be fine if I just ride this train.